I get asked by newbies on a weekly, if not daily basis, what's up with all the Middle Eastern fragrances and are they actually any good? Here's the honest answer. Let's go. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. If you're brand new here, hit that subscribe button. They don't call me the Middle Eastern Fragrance King for nothing. I've been doing this for the last, I would say, 4 years, especially on YouTube, specializing mostly on Middle Eastern fragrances. Back when a time where you didn't even know what something was a dupe and it was all speculation. And during those times, I was honestly putting on a lot of pressure to brands, companies, and even factories by exposing what I thought was a dupe of a fragrance. Like, for example, something like this during the time, nobody really knew that it was, in fact, a formulation for 1 million elixir that was given by a factory that probably didn't even tell the brand. Now, aside from this, the tip, that's probably one of the things that the brand knew about the design. Why they chose it, I don't know, but the fragrance, sexy. Maybe that's why they chose this type of tip. And that was the case for so many fragrances. Middle Eastern brands were basically given formulations of other fragrances by who? By the factories. And not many of them knew what was going on, and they were basically given this to just, hey, sink or swim. And so the factories probably had no clue that somebody, like myself, would come out and basically let the world know that this is in fact inspired by Noir Extreme or Victor and Rolf. So why pay for that when the same exact formula is in here? Except that's the case. It wasn't always the same exact formula. They came in different variances and different concentrations and even qualities, but the oil and the formula was the same, just different qualities. It wasn't until this genre started trending and a lot of people started watching my videos, and even some of the brothers that used to do it for a long time, realizing and recognizing that, let's see if this guy's onto something, and sure enough, they found out we were. And even the brands, ones that didn't know what they were getting, now knew. And this made what I do so much easier, bringing out the reality of things, exposing the lies. I mean, it's a positive thing for most people, right? Except for the niche snobs who are saying, that's garbage, is able to just rub it in their face, basically. Yeah, is it garbage now? So this isn't to say that the old ones were an ass. A lot of them were ass, but even during its time, to find a fragrance that was like 25 bucks that even gets remotely close to this was like a W for me. I was working 12-hour shifts at a hospital doing what I love, helping people. And I always loved finding W's and hacks, especially economically, to help more people. And these videos were putting people on game. I used to spend grands. I went into crazy debt to prove these points. And sure enough, we did. And shortly after time, with the success for Middle Eastern fragrances, the brands became aware, the people became aware, and the smart brands invested back into their companies because now they can afford it. People like you, Joe, and I were buying a lot more Middle Eastern fragrances, making their pockets fatter, and these brands that are really good quality now reinvested into quality. So instead of buying that oil that's, let's say, $100 per kilogram, they're now spending $150 per kilogram for better oils. That's just an average number. I'm just giving you an idea. It's usually sold by kilogram. There are different price brackets, etc. for qualities. You can go with an absolute, you can go with a synthetic, or even a natural, and there are differences between all three, and the expenses, keep that on the side. So a lot of these brands started to invest in more expensive and better smelling oils. They're all safe. It's just maybe oil tier 1 was more expensive because it got closer to the actual smell of, let's say, an orange, versus tier B, which was cheaper because it didn't smell as realistic as the orange. You catch the drift. And so these brands really started to highlight on quality, and we were getting better and better and better and better. And that's why I aligned myself and made some collabs with one of those brands. And in fact, we get this directly from tier A oils with the highest concentrations with the same perfumers from some of these. And even working with one of the perfumers who made super popular fragrances, we'll save that for later, with higher concentration for 60 bucks or less. How and why? We don't spend as much on marketing. We don't pay Johnny Depp $50 million to advertise this, therefore making it more expensive, and also greed. We're not as greedy. Obviously, they're still making money, right? But the whole point, we win. And that's why I started this all. So what's up with all the Middle Eastern fragrances? They're that damn good. Now, I can't vouch for every creator out there. A lot of them may be in it just to make money. A lot of them are not passionate about fragrance. I've always been passionate. You can go back to my earliest days. I love fragrance. And I know a lot of people are not used to a lot of energy when it comes to something like this, but it's real. It's me. And I didn't change it, and I wouldn't change it for the world because I love this shit. Now, back to the topic. I can't tell you who's in it for the money or not. You're just gonna have to watch, man. How long can you fake something? How long can you pretend that you love fragrance? For how long can you pretend? Or is it the money? You never really know. But you're all grown adults, I would imagine, and I'll let you guys decide as to who's who and what's what. There's a lot of jealousy in this too. A lot of people tried to discredit. I will never partake in anything like that. Never drop names, and whoever's in it for the right reasons, cool. Whoever's not, whatever. Let these for the streets. Let the streets take care of it. It is what it is. But today I'm going to use a couple of fragrances to highlight how some Middle Eastern fragrances are not as good, are just as good, or even better. You heard me right. Let's go. Like I said, some brands are using the same oils, some are better, and some not so much. This isn't speaking for every single brand. I don't know what they do behind closed doors, but I do know what I do for my brand, and I'll simply share it with what I have on hand. Starting off with Parfums de Marly Altair. This was a trending fragrance for a very good reason. It's a vanilla, spice, and orange flower. It's honestly a really good scent profile, perfect for the fall and even during the winter time. I've smelled the DNA like this for a long time, but Parfums de Marly killed it with this DNA. Longevity, performance, compliment factor galore. That is until French Avenue's Liquid Brune. And I, in my opinion, think that this is a better fragrance. All in all, this has a very similar scent profile. It's richer, it adds a note of praline, and it's even longer lasting. Now, this is one of those cases where I would personally say, I like this one more, but it also is kind of subjective, no? The one thing that makes me really enjoy this one over the original is that orange flower has a little bit of a green, almost dry cottonmouth style of scent. Yes, the cottonmouth has a smell. It's like a musky, dusty style of green undertone that this one doesn't have. My guess is the fact that it adds the note of praline or the caramel. That addition of sweetness covers that. And for me personally, I like this one more. The way that it projects and lasts, also it projects a little bit better than the Altair, but they are pretty damn close. Regardless of the fact, if you're one who's a diehard OG, go with the OG. It's still a damn good fragrance, but for me personally, this is a case where it's better. Another case where it's also better is something like this, God of Fire. And like I said, a lot of it could be subjective, but this is where I believe it to be objective. Volcan Fouet, which I don't have because I gifted it to a friend of mine, is a better performing version than the original God of Fire. I would call that one about 95% close. But the one thing that I will say is that it projects and it lasts much longer than this. Unfortunately, this for me is only a 4-hour fragrance. And when you're spending $250 versus $50, this is 75 ml. Actually, no, it's 50 ml for 200, you guys. 100 ml for 50, bro. For those of you who are out there, oh, it's stealing art, oh, it's whatever. Listen, I've been in the industry now with actual factories and perfumers for 4 years. They're all inspired. They all stem from somewhere. Even the greatest selling fragrance of all time is Sauvage. It didn't come with a white page. It came with a brief. Make something like a Ventus, but more mass appealing. Right out of the window. Leave the stigma. That is a stigma that was trained onto us as a marketing bullshit. That's it. It's from brands who want you to believe that it's lack of creativity, when this in itself is inspired by Layton, by Boss Bottled, EDP Intense. It's not a bad thing. This is better than Boss Bottled in every way. We're just objective here. But it is a bad thing when it doesn't serve the pockets of the people who have deeper pockets and can invest and market even more, so that you hear the voices that say, no, clones, more than the voices that, like myself, will tell you, yes, this is better. There's a lot of subjective to it, but I'm telling you guys right now, there's a lot of reality to the other side as well. Once you ditch... Now, needless to say, there are still plenty of cases, and I would say 80% of the time, the OG or the more expensive will give you a better quality. This isn't a perfect system, and I'm not saying all dupes are better. That is not what I'm saying. I can only speak for myself. I've been always honest, and I've always been objective. When something is truly better than the original, I'll let you know. When there is something that truly cannot be touched or matched, I'll also let you know. Even a dupe, and it doesn't matter. There is not a single dollar amount that could buy my honest opinion. Something like Imagination, although the price point is really high, nothing hits it 100%, obviously, but there are some that are extremely close and good. It's like 90%. Is that 10%? Worth $400 for you? It's really up to you. And that's exactly how I frame it and tell you guys in every single video. Now, with that being said, let's highlight something just like that. Imagination is about $400 and this is about $50. A little bit off, but still really good. That compromise, I don't think it's a better fragrance by any means. I don't think it's as good as Imagination, but the compromise makes it a better value. Without this context, without the details, it seems like a lot of word games, right? It seems like you're dancing around words to avoid the truths, but I'm telling you the truths in every single video. This is still the best. It's not matched. But would you spend $400? Come on, that's crazy. Now, let me highlight some examples of more subjective realities to this fragrance game and where some of these influencers or even a channel like myself will be subjective. But for the most part, if you watch some of my videos and you trust my reviews, then we might have a taste that aligns. In my opinion, something like Le Male Elixir Absolute was a cash grab. It came out 4 months after Le Male Elixir. Don't quote me for it. It only added the note of plum, and it was like, what the fudge? I have to spend another $150 to add the note of plum? That. Then this came out. It's called Zayan Gold for about $40. It smells just like this, if not richer. There's something in this that, while its attempt to dupe this, maybe got it a little wrong, but it added more of a buttery natured iris. And for that wrong, made it something I like even more. So in that case, this is a massive W, even over Le Male Elixir Absolute. And in that case, some people might call it a twist, if anything. Something else, Oud Marcuja, super strong. I love this scent profile, but so hard to wear. And because of its rarity and complexity, I won't really wear it that often. But this is called Exotic Oud by Gulf Orchid. It's a lighter, more creamier, and leather-dominant version of something like that. It's much easier to wear. It's also long-lasting, but it's not nearly as polarizing as this, which gives you another case scenario. Samples for something like this, a 10 ml, will be no less than 50, if I'm not mistaken, while this is like $30 for the 100 mls. Inspo, twist, dupe, you call it whatever the door you want to. It makes sense. And they don't smell bad. I'm all for cheap. I'm all for savings, but I'm never for smelling like shit. I'm never for smelling cheap. I would never smell like cheap. There's no way. I love wearing designer shit. I love wearing glasses, and I got like all this gold, and then I go and wear something that makes me smell dusty, musty, or cheap. It's like the guy who only eats halal, but then goes to the bar and drinks, or like eats pepperoni. You know who you are. The same thing. I would never, and I have never. Let's move on. Let's talk about something like this. Oh, he's talking about Xena. It's the truth. This is inspired by Narcotic Delight. I bought that fragrance for $300, $300 to $400. And I'm still pissed to this day that it doesn't give me more than 3 hours performance maximum. This one gives me about 6. Still not that much. Okay, sure. But it's a much better, long-lasting, higher value fragrance. I got my value's worth, or money's worth in this one. It's got cherry, booze, spice, also hedione, which makes it fluffed up and almost cloud-like, an aura. And that's kind of what helps it project, but also what might be the problem with the performance. This one lasts longer. It's an straight, $50. Last but not least, Xerjoff's 40 knots. Way too salty for my taste. This is better and stronger. It's called Yacht Club by Gulf Orchid. I saw this for the longest time. I didn't even bother bat an eye to this fragrance. And then when I did, recently, I'm impressed. Look at the virtual non-existent dent. 40 knots it's just not it. It's too salty. This one tones it down, makes it more woody, more mass appealing. 400? No, wait. This is probably like $200 on discounters. $30. So to answer your question, it's multiple reasons. There might be people that are in it for the wrong reasons, but so help me God, wallah al-azim, on everything I love, this is always and only ever will be sharing what I love. There has never been a purchased opinion. Sometimes in the earlier days of my channel, I might have been a little bit awkward and stuff, but that's just me being awkward. I'm comfortable now. I love you guys. We've been doing this for years, and I would never compromise my relationship with you. So speaking for myself, it's always honest. Are the others? I don't know. But are they good? A lot of them are, and a lot of them aren't as well. There's a lot of old fragrances and even new fragrances that come out that people just, this is great. And if that's what they believe, okay, fine, that's their opinion. How can you judge them? But they don't even believe it. But they say they do. How? And that really pisses me off because it discredits what I do. It highlights shit fragrances that makes most Middle Eastern fragrances look like shit. And by default, Middle Eastern Fragrance King makes me look bad too. So although I can't speak for them, I can say that it pisses me off because it takes away a lot of credit in what I do. And that's something that really ticks me off because imagine this, somebody's brand new into the space and they just found a creator and they're talking about a Middle Eastern fragrance that they don't really enjoy. Something like this, for example. Oh my God, this is the best fragrance while they're pocketing in some money of all time, etc. And this first time newbie that is asking this question of like, what's up with all the Middle Eastern fragrances? Are they even that good? They come and they watch my video. And I'm like, yeah, they're that good. And then they watch their video and then they buy this and they end up with a scent profile that's just completely out of this world. First off, a lot of beginners don't even listen to the scent profiles. They just listen to, oh, it's good. You have to listen to the scent profile, bro. But at the same time, it was that person's responsibility, and they sold themselves for recommending this fragrance. And what this in turn does, unfortunately, because I have the Middle Eastern Fragrance King tag and title, it hurts me because I talk about a lot of them. And in every video, I've talked about something like this. I've said the quality's immaculate, but I don't like this fragrance. I don't like the scent profile to begin with. Doesn't mean it's a bad fragrance. I just personally wouldn't recommend it. So if you know that you have the same taste as I, you would know to stay away from this fragrance. And other people who like the descriptor, I'll tell you right now, it smells like a strawberry hookah. I don't like that. But if you do, there you go. Somebody who knows fragrance and can describe fragrance versus just reading the note breakdown. That's who you want to follow, and that's who you want to trust and take opinions from. But please understand that there's a lot of subjectivity. Please listen to the actual note breakdown. Follow somebody you trust that has morals, that has ethics and values, which, alhamdulillah, so help me God, you guys. I mean, I'm not the perfect, religious Muslim in the world. I strive to be the perfect human I could be every single day. And my promise to you is that I'm always 100% honest, even with all the naysayers and the haters. And when they try to convince otherwise, don't believe all the haters in the comments either. There's a lot of ops, from other brands that don't like what I do, or I don't talk about their brand because some of them are shit, etc., or bad quality, or they're just conniving and they don't treat you guys properly. And they'll be in my comment sections and just, you know what I'm saying? Just ignore the noise. Navigate through the space, which can be extremely fun. Try and grab dupes of fragrances you already like if you're just starting before you experiment, and find somebody you trust. My name is Neeb. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. If there were 1,000,001 other things I could do on this earth, I wouldn't trade this for the world. This and my medical field, because I love helping people. And that's what this has always been about. So yeah, bro, Middle Eastern fragrances can be a hit or can be a miss. That's what I'm gonna leave you with. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.